people have problems with that I do at times. And but then I think, but now that I'm in Neothink now, and I look at this and I'm saying, well, that's something that will go away. Why do people feel these? Most people get tired in the afternoon. When they get tired in the afternoon, I think a lot because either the stress of the job and they hate their job, or this, and they didn't sleep and they get tired in the afternoon, and But when you play for a living, when you're in that, when you're doing your essence and you're basically you don't work anymore, you play at it. You won't get tired because you'll be sleeping at night. It's something we have to look at. That's, to me, I think, as I said, I'm not a God man yet, so there's nights I have a hard time sleeping and I get tired the next day. But I don't, I just can't do naps. I can fall asleep on the couch for like 2 minutes and then I'm fine. But it's just, that's something that will go away, I think. Once you find your essence and you live it, it's another benefit of going into the sea of you. Instead of losing sleep over it, and we worry, and we toss and turn, and blah 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 blah. But in the meantime, we're not sleeping. Karen, do you have any thoughts?
I like the idea of the 10 to 20 minute nap. I don't think my body could do that. But that quiet rest, take the 10 to 20 minutes to just get quiet and rest, or meditate, or breathing exercises. It gives our mind and our self-talk a break. And a lot of time, especially now with the insanity and lack of reason going on, our minds, there's a lot of negative self-talk going on. And if we can just relax that and take the focus away from what we're doing throughout our day and just take a 10 or 20 minute break, it's just a 10-minute break, and quiet ourselves, or if we have to meditate or breathing exercise, something to take our mind off of what we're thinking about, that gives our mind and self-talk a break. It gives us a rest from the stress, and that helps a lot because the stress causes our immune systems to be weak. So I think that's an excellent way to try to reduce that stress. Thank you.
I think that's wonderful. I like that very, very much. Yes.
Well, thank you, Kay. Thank you for that interesting article. Thank you.
Thank you.
And good point, Karen. Yeah, we have to take a mental break sometimes during the day, and I know I got to do it too, and I don't like it. It takes away from what I want to do. But anyway, and then the stress hits you, and obviously this past week was something that we never saw before, never dreamed of, and it's horrible. But we have to look at this, and again, you have to look at this with integrations. You have to look at this with that Neothink mind. And yes, today we can't do a damn thing about this. We can't do anything about the AC world. The only thing that we can do with the AC world is not participate in it. Because the only way that we can change this AC world is for us to become Neothink. If there's enough of us turning Neothink, we can take down the AC world. It will crumble and fall. And it wouldn't take much to do that. But right now we can't do a damn thing about it because we don't have the numbers. We don't have enough people to make a difference. So we have to, even, if people would just use their common sense, I'm so sick of hearing people say, you got to wash your hands. Yes, it's common sense, but we have to tell everybody a million times until they start getting it. So we saw people starting to panic this week. So everybody shows up at the supermarkets to stock up, and then they start fighting over it. It's just insanity. But it's something that I think most people didn't really know about the virus because they just walk around in their own little world and they don't pay attention to anything. And that's the people who are panicking because they didn't know that this was coming. You know, I'm not one of these guys who preps for all the disasters. But this one I did take a little serious, and I did get extra water the past couple of weeks and bought some extra food. So I'm sitting in decent shape here. I'm not going to panic over anything. You know, what's the point? You know, if you stay home, you know, obviously people have to go to work, and I understand that, and I just send my energy out to you every day if you have to go out in that world every day. You know, but then, you know, I think, I mean, it's just, this is such a waste of life. It's such a waste of time. What I think the biggest lesson, at least if I see it, I don't know how many other people see it, this is another case where people have to start to say, what the hell do we need government for? What do we need it for? They're the ones that caused this. They're the ones that aren't ready for it. We give them trillions of dollars a year, and not one country was prepared for something like this, even though this has happened before. Because every buyer disease we had, so the SARS, and
every 2 years.
Yeah, every couple of years it comes out. I mean, there was one back in the 80s, and I remember this a little bit because they didn't advertise it much. 1989, I think it was, in Virginia, not that far from Washington, D.C. And they had a chemical lab there, one of these bio labs, and whatever they were doing in there started to leak out of the building. And I don't know how bad it was, but they must have thought it was pretty bad because within 24 hours, they bombed the place. Jets flew over D.C. and bombed this place to oblivion to stop this virus. So all the countries do it. That's insane. If there was no government, we wouldn't have to make all these things up. This is, when life is meaningless to most people, this is what happens. They don't care if a couple million people die of this. They could care less. They don't. I don't know how many times. I don't know how other to stress this. I've been stressing it for 12 years here. The government doesn't care about us. Not one government out there gives a crap about your life. And yet, we continue to follow them, and we'll argue about them, and we'll do all this stuff, and we'll go vote for this guy or that guy and say he's the best out there. But I do have to take an exception to that, though, because I think they're all full of crap. All right? But I really do believe that Trump did about as best as any president could have done in this situation to get things rolling. Because, you know, I'm not saying that, I'm not giving him a free pass here, but at least he has taken charge of this. And I think by the time this is over, I think there won't be as many people dying in this country as there will be in other countries. But that aside, I really don't want to get into politics of this tonight, but I do want to open up the line soon, you know, and talk about this. But you have to look at it. Look at the common denominators. Look at what is on this, you know. And then there's articles out there that saying that the government, our government, started the coronavirus. I don't know. You know, because you don't know what to believe anymore. So the way that I'm looking at this now is I'm not watching TV that much anymore. I know what I got to do to protect myself and my family. You know, I'm not going to go out as much. I'm staying home, which I'm lucky that I can do that. And it's not going to change my day. I'm still going to be talking to people from NeoThink all day and doing these calls at night when I have those nights that I have to do it. So it's not affecting me as much as other people who are working, or now they're closing all the schools and the kids can't, so they have to get somebody to babysit. They got to stay home. It's going to be tough for a lot of people. And I'm very fortunate I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I have kids and grandkids out there, but I know that my kids are taking care of everything. And I talked to both my sons today, and everything so far is good there. But what is frustrating to me is that we can't do anything about this. But someday we will be able to do something about this. This is government at its best, and it ain't anywhere near anybody's best. They can't protect us. All they can do is kill us. And that's what they're doing. But right now, all I'm concerned about is us getting through this. All other Neolithic is not getting involved in this. All of us not catching this virus. All of us being logical. Taking the right steps for us to stay healthy. And most of us are older, so we have to be careful there too. So do the right things. If you have to go shopping for food, then do it. Get in and get out. Maybe go early or go during the week where maybe it's not as crowded, and get in and out as fast as you can. And then come home and wash your hands. and then just go from there. I think my hands would be raw if I washed them as much as they, But anyway, it's just, we can take a lot of control here in our own lives. We don't have to rely on government for everything, because look what happens when you do. The human mind has gotten so lazy that we can't think for ourselves anymore. So, everybody's first thought is, so what's the government doing? Well, geez, you think they're going to really, go after this as much as you think? They're the ones that caused it. If there was no countries and people were just living their life like we're supposed to, there would be no virus. There would be no killing. There will be none of this foolishness. And that's all it is foolishness. And it's killing us. So now for the next who knows how many months, how our lives will be disrupted. It's going to get higher once these test kits get out there. So don't start panicking again. The death rate's going to go up. The amount of people getting infected with this is going to go up, because now the test kits will be out there this week. And it's going to cause the rate to go up for a while. Hopefully, I don't think it will be as bad as it could have been, because everybody's staying home now, or a lot of people are, and that's going to cut down the rate somewhat. Hopefully a lot, but who knows? Only time will tell. But the next couple of weeks, I think everybody's going to panic again, because the rates are going up, and oh no, we're all going to die. This is not the end of the world. Okay? It's going to be a pain to be living in. It's springtime, everybody wants to get outside, and we're all going to be stuck in the house, because there's nowhere to go. The restaurants are closing, the movies are closing, there's no sports, there's no anything, basically. You can't have a big gathering. So, we don't have much choice here. So today I went for a walk. There was nobody around. And I drove for a while. That was it. So at least I got out of the house. That was good. And, so it's just, we have to just, if you get a little tense with this, all right, read some of the information. Read the literature. Get on the Reach Out program. Start calling people. Start making more contacts. And don't just sit there and talk about gossip or talk about what's going on as much as, hey, I think the literature's helped me get through some of this, or what's a good part of the literature to read about something like this, or something creative, something positive, something neo-think. That's the conversations that we need to do now to get out and take a break from this AC world. We have to start to do that more and more every day. We have to not participate. Yes, we live in the AC world. We make our money from the AC world. We do everything. But we don't have to participate in it. Just look at the 12 students and Miss Annabelle. And I've been saying this every day, I think, for the last couple of weeks. When Jake sat there and looked at them, when they were all successful, and he said to himself, here's these 12 super successful people. They're all rich. One's a president, one's this. Excuse me. And he says, ever since the year of Miss Annabelle, when they were 8, 9, 10 years old, they never once participated in the AC world. But yet, they made all the money there. They became rich and famous. They became powerful. But they never participated, not once. They all became God-men. And they changed the world. So that's what we need to, we need to take that lesson and do that. Stop participating. Where's it getting us? You know, but what has government done for us? What has this anti-civilization done for us? If it was so good, then why did we come to Neothink? Think about why you joined here this week. Think about why you bought that first book for $139. So all of these things matter. You got to get back to the roots of why you're here and ask yourself a lot of questions. We get a call on Saturday once a month, and all it is questions. And the integrations are flying. They're just, I can't, I am pushing this call a lot because I don't know of a better way of teaching people this. And I think this study guide with the questions really brings out the best in people to learn this. What do you have to lose? You spent all this money on these books. If Mark sends you another load tomorrow for another $300, you'll find that money in a heartbeat. All right, but if you're not reading the books, then what the hell's the point of buying them? But the point I'm trying to make here is sign up for next month. If you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, if you think it's a bunch of crap, then don't join again. But don't you owe it to yourself to really try to start moving faster with Neothink? You got to take these inventories with yourself and look deep inside of us and say, what's stopping me from really diving into this material? What's stopping me from calling people on the reach out? What's stopping me from going to the summit? Now you have another 5 months or so to get ready for that in San Diego. So sit down tomorrow and see if you can afford to go. You don't know until you see. Then you can put a few bucks away each month. Because you owe it to yourself to be there. You owe it to yourself to be on these calls. You owe it to yourself to be on the reach out list and get involved with this. And you owe it to yourself to get on a study guide call once a month. These are the things that you owe yourself. Nobody else. You're not doing this for anybody else but you. But you got to jump in. You got to taste the water. You got to let Neothink just run over you. Just soak it in. Open up that bread and just let this be that water that you needed. And you just drink it in. And you'll never regret it. Because if you leave here, because a lot of people have left Neothink because they didn't want to put their work into it. But I'll guarantee you one thing. All those people that left, they ain't doing any better. They're all back in the AC world. How can you do better there? Because every day that goes by, this is the best day we have left. It was today. Because tomorrow will be worse. Next day will be worse. It can't get better. No matter what the politicians said, no matter what the church says, no matter what these people say or those people say, this AC world will not get better. 23 centuries we've been living under this guise of government and church. Where has it got us? What has it done for us? I'll stop there. Karen, if you have anything to say, jump in.